Life was looking pretty sunny for Arata Kasuga until the wrong kind of sun showed up, that is. Thanks to a weird breakdown phenomenon, his entire town got wiped out and his cousin Hijiri vanished, landing him in a fantasy world of his own making. But hey, there's still hope. Turns out that Arata has been branded with some serious magical potential, putting him in the Demon Lord class. Naturally, the higher-ups can't let that kind of power run wild, so they ship him off to the Royal Biblia Academy. That's where Arata bumps into 7 absolutely stunning mages whose magic is tied to the same sins he has to conquer to restore his world. Of course, they've got their own agendas too. So, our hero Arata Kasuga finds himself stuck in a super weird dream world, all dark and creepy, when suddenly, a girl comes running toward him. He's like, hey, maybe she can help me figure out what's going on. But plot twist, he wakes up to discover he's accidentally groping his cousin, Hijiri. Hijiri's not amused and lets him have it with a good old punishment, even as Arata tries to charm his way out of trouble. At breakfast, Hijiri's still in a mood, and Arata's clueless why. He even whips out this embarrassing drawing she did as a kid, which only makes her blush harder. Then they're off to school together, except Arata suddenly notices something seriously off. The sun's pitch black. Hijiri's acting all normal. Like, dude, what are you talking about? This is totally normal, and Arata's left scratching his head. Then Mystery Girl in a school uniform shows up, telling him to wake up or else. Nah, she's gone just as fast. During class, Arata's still stuck on that cryptic message, so he heads up to the school roof to get some answers from Hijiri. He's like, so, about that black sun, and Hijiri's all, yeah, dua. It's always been like this. She explains it's his perfect world, shaped by his own wish. She even offers to stay by his side forever, which sounds sweet, except Arata suddenly remembers Hijiri once disappeared and begged him to remember her. He calls her out as a fake, and she's like, you got me. But before she can react, the mystery girl from earlier shows up and fires a magic bullet. Fake Hijiri deflects it with a barrier like it's no big deal. Turns out she's a mage. And Arata instantly recognizes her because, well, let's say she's noticeable up top. Embarrassed but determined, she introduces herself as Lilith Asami. Hijiri reveals the illusion spell turns out the town is actually a post-apocalyptic nightmare. Lilith explains a disaster wiped it out 3 days ago, and suddenly everything clicks for Arata. Meanwhile, Hijiri hands Arata a grimoire and kisses him goodbye right before vanishing. Suddenly, Arata's alone in this empty void, refusing to accept this as reality. He makes a wish on the grimoire to bring everything back to normal, which it actually starts doing. But Lilith's like, whoa, hold up, that's dangerous. She gives him a choice, hand over the grimoire and his memories to live a normal life or, die. Arata's like, yeah, no thanks. I pick option 3, and he's off to the Royal Biblia Academy. Lilith's shocked but rolls with it. At the academy, Lilith introduces him to the class, where a curious Selena bombards him with questions. When she finds out he pulled off world reconstruction, the class goes nuts. He's basically a Demon Lord candidate now. In the headmaster's office, Arata learns that to become a badass mage and maybe rescue Hijiri, he has to meet the Trinity, seven elite female mages. Oh, and guess what? Lilith's one of them. Headmaster Biblia's loving the drama, but Lilith's not too thrilled. Still, she introduces him to Levi Kazama, a ninja mage, and points out that girls tend to be better at magic since it's tied to emotions. Later that night, Arata's chilling alone, wondering where the grimoire is. Then, it shows up around his neck and tells him to hit the baths. He heads there, only to find a girl who looks exactly like Hijiri, naked as the day she was born. Arata tries to keep his cool but bolts when Lilith walks in. When he explains the situation, Lilith figures out it's Arin Kanazuki, another Trinity 7 member. Arata's like, so she's important too, huh? Lilith's like, by the way, you forgot your pants. Arin's giving Arata the creepiest stare down ever. Everyone else in class is low-key freaked out, and Arata's like, Lilith, what's her deal? But even Lilith's at a loss. Fast forward to the cafeteria, and guess what? Arin's still staring at him while he's just trying to eat his lunch in peace. But it doesn't end there, no. In the hallway, Arin's following Arata like a lost puppy, and even tries to waltz right into the men's bathroom with him. Arata's brain nearly short-circuits as he demands to know why she's tailing him. Arin, in her super deadpan way, says she's observing him as her partner, since he's the Demon Lord candidate. Then she just bounces, leaving Arata confused and a little creeped out. Later, Arata's in his room trying to chill. But surprise, Lilith, Selena, and Levi have turned it into Party Central. Selena and Levi are there to gather intel, while Lilith's just trying to keep the chaos under control. After Selena's nosy interview, Arata's like, hey, can you teach me some magic? Lilith's totally down, but Selena and Levi immediately start teasing that Lilith would probably agree to any kind of educational scenario. Lilith's red face and angry protests. Anyway, they get to the serious stuff. Lilith explains his grimoire is the legendary Astle manuscript, a magical cheat sheet from another world. She also introduces the concept of a theme every mage dedicates their research to, drawn from the 7 deadly sins. Just as things are getting good, a blackout traps them in a magic barrier. Astle's all, "Yeah, I know how to get out, but let's make it interesting and let you figure it out while I nap. Thanks a lot, Astle." Arata's like, "Screw this," and tries to break the door with a chair, classic brute force. The girls are stunned, but quickly realize it's typical Arata, act now, think later. They figure someone's testing his strength. Outside, Aaron and another mystery figure are creepily watching from the rooftop. Inside the barrier, Arata suggests they rest, but Lilith suddenly has to go. Then, surprise, Selena and Levi need to go too. Everyone's desperate. Arata's like, "Okay, let's ask Astle," but she's half asleep. So Arata, Selena, and Levi pull a fast one, convincing her they figured it out, which makes Astle accidentally reveal the source under the bed. The girls bolt to the bathroom, while Astle's all impressed with Arata's trickery, eager to see what theme he'll pick. Arata's clueless, so Aaron shows up to explain Thema is basically a mage's magic major. Arata suspects she's the barrier's culprit, and she admits it. Instead of flipping out, Arata's like, "Well, at least I got to see you girls desperate for a bathroom." Aaron even offers to let him watch her go. Yikes! Astle then points out Arata's magic gets unstable around Aaron because she looks like Hijiri. The two decide to chat elsewhere after ignoring Headmaster Biblia's peeping from the window. In the infirmary, Lilith and Arata question Aaron, who explains Biblia wanted to stress test the Demon Lord candidate to see if a breakdown phenomenon would happen. Arata's ticked and wants to punish the headmaster, but Lilith already beat him to it. Meanwhile, Biblia's tied up and roasting in a furnace somewhere. Typical day at school. Curious about the breakdown phenomenon, Lilith watches as Aaron, now in Magus mode, removes Astle's magic seals from Arata, triggering a magical meltdown. Aaron's like, "Science," but didn't expect things to go so haywire. Outside, Selena and Levi sense the breakdown phenomenon starting, and even Biblia's watching, amused but worried about losing his school. Inside, Arata's magic's going nuts, and Lilith tries to step in, but Aaron's like, "Nope." Just then, Accio and Mira swoop in fresh from a mission. Mira uses her Superbia magic to freeze everyone, including Aaron and Lilith, giving Accio a clear shot at Arata. Accio apologizes before striking. So there's Arata, who's somehow been roped into working as a beachside chef while a bunch of girls frolic in their swimsuits. He's stuck there thanks to a little incident, where he and Aaron accidentally blew up the academy. Yep. Lilith's on hand to remind him that, yeah, that's why they're here now, and also to firmly ban any more experiments that could torch the place again. Fair enough. Arata, ever the curious one, wonders why their punishment involves sun, sand, and girls in bikinis. Lilith explains that the headmaster, being a total overachiever, decided to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, fix the school while giving everyone a beach vacay. Arata's impressed by the headmaster's strength, which is no joke, especially when Selena and Levi show up to confirm that he's one of the 5 strongest mages in the world. Naturally, Arata's more interested in swimsuit appreciation. He's especially fond of Lilith's, though she's less than thrilled when he starts remembering other sights and threatens to erase his memories permanently. Cue Selena swooping in for an interview, but Lilith's determined to keep Arata's secrets under wraps. Then Sora shows up and grabs Lilith's boobs, marveling at their size and softness like she's inspecting a pair of stress balls. Arata, of course, wants in on the action, but Lilith's had enough and sends them both flying. Meanwhile, Mira orders Accio to take Arata out while Aaron and Lilith are tied up like a pair of magical piñatas. Accio, ever apologetic, hits Arata with a blast that's supposed to end him. But even after his magic vanishes, the breakdown phenomenon keeps rolling. Guess who's not dead yet? Arata wakes up in some trippy music world, where he meets Yu, a violinist with some serious assets. She's the one who saved him from Accio's attack, and she's got a front row seat to the real-world havoc too. She reveals that Arata himself is the cause of the breakdown phenomenon. Back in the real world, students are literally disintegrating, with Levi and Selena watching in horror. Even Levi's usually unflappable ninja face starts to crack. Yu tells Arata that to stop the breakdown phenomenon, he needs to find his thema, which is basically a magic major drawn from one of the 7 deadly sins. Arata's clueless, but determined to fix his mess. He remembers Mira's Thema, Justicia, and thinks maybe he's getting close. With a thank you and a wave, Yu sends him back to the real world. He reappears just as the girl's protective barrier starts to crumble. Mira still wants to finish him off, but Akio's like, let's give him a chance. Arata's like, cool, I'll try to control this mess, and tells a still manuscript his Thema rule from Superbia. He transforms into Magus mode and, surprise, wipes out the breakdown phenomenon. Unfortunately, his magic also strips Lilith, Eren, and Akio down to their birthday suits, which is super awkward. Mira's too cool to be affected and leaves with Akio. Even Arata's clothes disintegrate, and Lilith's absolutely mortified. Later, Selena's curious about his powers and wants a demo. Arata obliges and shows off his Magus mode, but Selena traps him with her Logos art. He busts free, but also tears her swimsuit to shreds. Mira and Akio hear her scream and can't help but comment on the impurity of his magic. Then, at night, Selena and Levi eavesdrop on Arata in Lilith's room, imagining a steamy scenario before Lilith busts them and hands out punishment. They all end up in a mixed bath, where Lilith reveals Arata's complicated past with Hijiri. Arata remembers the members of Trinity 7 he's met: Lilith, Eren, Levi, Mira, and Akio, and recalls Yu too. The last members still MIA. Levi suggests he focus on the girls he's met, and Arata's on board. Finally, in the hot spring, Arata's disappointed the girls are wearing swimsuits. Mira and Akio bail, leaving the others to chat. Selena suggests Arata learn to focus his anti-magic instead of spraying it everywhere. Arata wants to borrow Lilith's gun, but she's like, no way, since it's tied to her Thema. But when he mentions saving Hijiri, she relents and shows him outer alchemic. Arata's grimoire rewrites it so he can use it, leaving the girls stunned that he can copy other mages' magic. Arata's strolling to class with Lilith, still reeling from the bombshell that he can straight up copy other people's magic. He's basically declared himself the ultimate protagonist. Lilith, ever the killjoy, tells him not to get too full of himself since he's just scratching the surface and needs a lot more practice. But when they hit the classroom, it's like nap time. Every student is dead asleep. Arata tries to wake Selena, but she's out cold. He jokes that the students might be skipping Lilith's class, but Levi drops in to say it's something more sinister. Cut to the headmaster's office, where Master Biblia spills the beans. A breakdown phenomenon's putting all the weaklings to sleep, leaving only the magic heavyweights awake. Arata's like, well, let's use that to our advantage. But Lilith smacks him down before he can get too excited. Mira and Akio are off to wipe the phenomenon out on their own. Teamwork's overrated. Apparently, while the rest stick around to chat. Turns out the source of all this magical mess is leaking from under the school, and guess who's to blame? Yu, the violin girl with the magical meltdown. Arata can't help but remember her Emma figure, earning him another glare from Lilith. Master Biblia explains that Yu's lost control of her magic in the dungeon, and that's why everything's gone sideways. The gang heads down to this bizarre labyrinth that's looking like a Salvador Dali fever dream. Arata's totally weirded out, but the others explain it's all Yu's doing. Apparently, she's a dream world mage whose magic is so strong she could literally put the whole world to sleep. Yikes. Levi suggests they hurry up before Mira and Akio reach Yui and erase her. She also recommends they power up into Magus mode because things are gonna get real. Of course, it's not a Trinity 7 adventure without demon shadows showing up. Arata tries to summon his trusty gun, but his memory's playing tricks on him. Eren puts up a barrier, but all Arata manages is a toy gun that's about as useful as a rubber chicken. He's so frustrated that he throws it, accidentally canceling Lilith and Eren's Magus modes. Luckily, Levi flexes her top 5 mage muscles and wipes the floor with the demons. They also talk about her relationship with Yui. Let's just say it's complicated. Moving deeper, Arata and Lilith get an unexpected groping session from more sneaky shadow demons. Eren lights them up, and they disintegrate like dust bunnies in a vacuum. Arata tries to copy the magic again, but Astil says nope because apparently there's more to it than just wishing for it. Eren casts a protective spell over him, and Arata's so touched he practically swoons. Finally, after fighting through more demons, the crew reaches the final level and runs into Mira and Akio. Those two are dead set on erasing Yui, but Arata pleads with them to hold off. Mira's ready to erase him too, but Levi steps in to stall them, giving Arata and the others a chance to rescue Yui. Of course, Arata manages to catch a glimpse of Mira's underwear, leaving her mortified. When they reach Yui's room, there's a big old phantasmal dragon, dripping with miasma guarding her. Arata's wings pop out again, thanks to his Demon Lord magic going haywire, and the dragon attacks. Mira and Akio jump in, and Levi reveals she's teamed up with them to handle this oversized lizard. Levi helps Arata stabilize his magic while giving him a pep talk about the Thema. Lilith teaches him her magic, but warns that using it might turn him into a monster even bigger than the dragon. Gulp. Arata's scared but determined, and Levi even kisses his finger for good luck. He nails the summoning, whips out a gun, and by dragon. In the aftermath, a stark naked Yu wakes up and glomps Arata, making Lilith want to tear her hair out. Levi watches Arata and thinks he might just be the demon lord with potential.